What is happening, guys? This is John here with the Xceleration Fitness Podcast, episode number 11. We're past 10, we're into double digits on number 11. So last week, Ben joined Sam Boudreau, Ben's wife, joined Ben to kind of discuss the story of Xceleration and whatnot. I was out of town, and this week, Ben is out of town. He's at his wrestling camp, and if you're a wrestler and you're watching this, you guys, and you're in Michigan or the Midwest, you guys got to get to his camp. This is one of the best camps around, I think, in the Midwest, up in St. Ignace. So check that out if you're a wrestler or if you know a wrestler. But I wanted to talk to you guys today. It's going to be a little bit different, okay? So I put on some stuff on social media asking for questions for this podcast, just because with him out of town, I was out of town last week, we didn't have time to line up any cool guests or anything like that, so you're stuck with me. So I did actually get quite a few questions. So I think I got like 15-ish, 12 to 15 questions, somewhere in there, that I'm going to touch on, and these are kind of all over the place. So it's maybe a little bit shorter, maybe a little bit longer, I don't know. We're just going to go with it and kind of see. And I apologize, this angle's a little weird. I am at my house and I don't have the best place to shoot in the world, so this is propped up on a kitchen chair outside on the deck. So we're gonna give it a go and see how it goes. So getting right into it here. Number one, what is the importance of having a training partner or group to train with? So if you guys know me or Ben very well or follow us on social media, you'll see that we always talk about and kind of post about, or we talk about in our posts, the importance of training with a group, and that goes for ourselves and for all of our clients at Xceleration. So when you have a group, man, it just takes it to another level, especially if it's a good group. It has to be a good group of people to lift with or work out with, whatever you're doing, to train with, that pushes you and you all push each other. So I'm very lucky. I train with an awesome group. It's a group of guys, and we train usually early in the mornings between 4:30 to 5 a.m. just because we all have crazy schedules with work, and a couple guys are still in school. So we're, we make do and with each other's schedules. And on that, I want to touch on is when one of us in the group, there's about probably 5 or 6 core guys that train together, and when one of us in the group can't make it for whatever reason, different work schedule, something comes up at the normal time, we'll accommodate them and we'll come earlier. We'll come at 4:30 in the morning to train, so we can all train together, or most of us can train together. Now, it doesn't always work, obviously, but we try to do that most times. And when you get a group like that, man, it takes it to a new level. And it makes it more not about you, but about the team. Even though, not everybody competes in this group. There's a couple of us that compete in powerlifting, but not everybody has to, but we still all push each other to that new level. And it's the same, even if you're not competing, guys, you can get so much out of it. When you have a good workout partner, it takes things to a new level. And I've been lucky to have, solid workout partners. I mean, really, it started back in high school wrestling back in the day. So I've had awesome workout partners, training partners through various, through wrestling, lifting, all the cardio and whatnot that you had to do for that. Like, there was always somebody that was really dedicated to training with each other, and that just took it to a new level. So I highly recommend guys getting a good group of individuals to train with. Number 2, favorite exercise besides the deadlift or squats. So if you don't know, I absolutely love the deadlift and squat. And besides that, I would oh man, this is tough. There's a lot of good exercises, and this question isn't super specific to what the goal is or what body part, what muscle group, anything like that. So I'm just going to say bench. So I love to squat and deadlift, and my bench is pretty crappy compared to those two, but I love to do it still, or I'm learning to love it, I guess. I'm learning to love it and to get better at it, so I'm going to have to go to the bench there. But other than that, probably pull-ups. I love doing pull-ups, I don't know why. So, number 3, What's the most important decision you make before leaving for work that isn't what socks should I wear today? So, if you don't know me, I don't always have the best style, but my sock game is always on point, okay? I rock the Stance socks. I got brand new Stance socks on. They always match my shoes, and I try to always match the outfit as well. I love socks. I don't know why. It's a weird thing. So that is, and Justin, you asked this, so I'm just going to tell you that I actually don't decide that before I leave for work. I decide that the night before. So I lay my clothes out the night before and pick which socks I'm going to wear based off of that. So, just a tiny tidbit. The most important decision, probably which caffeine source am I going to have. Because if it's a workout day, I'm having pre-workout, some type of pre-workout, a couple different ones. It's not a workout day, I still need something to keep me going. I live off of caffeine, so that's probably it. Justin also asked, what made you decide to be a trainer? So, what made me decide to be a trainer? So I always loved helping people, and I always wanted to, do something with health and wellness and helping people. I didn't always know what. I thought it was going to be nutrition for a long time, but eventually, I just fell in love with training and lifting. I always loved training for sports, and I love the practice and training even more. Even more than competition. It sounds weird, but I love competition, but the grind of the training process, I just absolutely loved it. So that's kind of where I always loved that side of things, and then also just helping people in general and helping them in whatever way possible related to health and fitness and whatnot. So I always had that in the back of my mind through high school and stuff. But then I went to college. I started out as an engineering major, and that lasted about one semester. I realized very quickly that I hate math, and that is not the place for math haters, right? So that lasted a semester, and then from there I was going to go to chiropractic school. So all the classes pretty much lined up. I was going to go to chiropractic school, and then I decided that wasn't the path for me, and ended up at Oakland University studying exercise science, fell in love with it, and then that's where I met Ben and started interning at Xceleration. And pretty much from day one, my very first day of my internship, I remember I walked into the dome. So if you guys watched last week's episode, you saw that. And at the time, all we trained was athletes. There was no adults. And I remember I walked into the dome, and the very first day we trained lacrosse team. Yeah, lacrosse team from Orchard Lake St. Mary's. And from that day on, I knew that I was going, training and helping people in that way was my thing. And I didn't know at the time about adult training, how much I would end up loving that. But that is kind of the day that sticks out that I knew, I was going to be a trainer. So just helping people, I guess, there with health and fitness. And I just love to lift. I'm a meathead, straight up. I'm going to be honest. Okay, so question number 5. What are your favorite, most effective peach emoji exercises? Just the emoji, not the actual peach emoji spelled out. Besides the obvious squat and deadlift, we see you frequenting. So everybody knows that I love the squat deadlift. So favorite glute exercises, I'm assuming to grow the glutes, not necessarily just for strength, hypertrophy reasons. Besides the squat deadlift, so there's a million different variations, first of all, for squat deadlift, so all of those obviously, but I love glute ham raises. So they're not going to be as much of glute, but I do like them a lot. Back extensions are really great. I really love back extensions, especially if you throw a band on there, the 45-degree back raise, and get a good squeeze, and the peach at the top, it works well. And other than that, any bridge, so hip bridges, single leg hip bridges, barbell hip thrusts, anything like that is good for the glutes. And other than that, just the basics, the squat deadlift variations, and then those kettlebell swings. I'll throw that in there. I like kettlebell swings too for the glutes. And I love the swings, kind of off topic. I love the swings because they kind of teach you to activate the glutes properly, and especially and also with the bridge variations. And that's huge because kind of that mind to muscle connection, quote unquote, that's big. I think, especially with the glutes, because a lot of people don't know how to properly fire the glutes. I mean, obviously they fire, but it's a little different. So yeah, that's where I was going with that. But also, I like mini band walks. So whether they're monster walks forward and back or lateral band walks, I really like. And just throwing a mini band on anything is really good for the hips too, the deeper glute muscles. So I love those variations for the glutes. Next up here, other than lifting heavy crap, what are your hobbies outside of the gym? I do spend a lot of time lifting heavy crap. What do I like to do outside of the gym? So I like to, I mean, I don't know, I guess the generic answer, right? I like to just hang out with friends and just chill and you know, do fun things, I guess. I don't know how to say it. I'm not a crazy mountain biker climber like Matt, but I would say just probably my favorite thing is just to hang out with my friends and family, and I try to make, especially my family, I try to make that a priority. And they live a decent amount or time away, so like I try to go there as often as I can. But that's kind of, I would say, the main thing, and it's never, you know, a specific thing. But I also love movies. I'm a big movie guy, and also I love to listen to music. So those are big. So yeah. How long does it take to get a tight peach? Asking for a friend, LOL. So how long does it take to get a tight butt? So I guess that's relative, right? It's going to be where you're starting from. If, you know, you're starting from a not so good point, it's going to take a long time. If you're starting from, you know, a pretty solid point, athletic background, maybe whatever, lifted previously, then it's going to take less amount of time. So it's hard to say. It's all relative for your friend, of course. What gets you motivated when you really don't feel like working out? I would probably, two things, go back to the first question, that was the importance of having a training group, because or workout partners, training partners, whatever, because if you do, then even if you don't feel like working out, you have to go because you have to be there for them, and they keep you accountable. So I would say that's the biggest thing, because everybody knows, like, everybody has those days that just suck. Like this week, I'm not gonna lie, was kind of tough training wise. Just didn't have many good days in the gym, a few here and there, but it wasn't a very good training week for various reasons. But it just wasn't as good as it should have been or could have been. But having those partners, training partners, like it pushed me to, you know, obviously I'm gonna go to the gym. Like, I don't ever see myself not going to the gym to work out, but it pushed me to, you know, put a better effort into than what I could have, I guess. So yeah, I would say that, and then also just realizing the fact that every workout's not going to be great. Straight up, you know, some of them are going to suck, but, you know, depending on your goals, or not depending on your goals, whatever your goals are, like, you still have to do it. It's still work that's got to be done. So I would say that. Next question, what is the benefit of a burpee, really? Burpees suck. I hate burpees, but they are really, really good at jacking up the heart rate and making a workout really hard. So, I mean, they're just a conditioning tool, right? Like anything else. If you can do a burpee under fatigue at a fast pace, your conditioning is pretty darn good. So, it's just a conditioning tool. Do you eat before your morning workouts? What do you have and why? So, I do not eat before my morning workouts because I work out very early, between 4:30 and 5 on most days. One day a week I work out 11. There is differences there, I'll talk about that in a second. But the early morning workouts, I do not work out, or I do not eat before them because I can't really stomach it and it makes me kind of feel sick. I take pre-workout, but I don't eat any actual food. And I don't know, I feel fine during the workouts. I have great energy and good results, so that's just me. But I will say, if I'm working out later, so one day a week I do have to work out 11 a.m. just because of scheduling conflicts, or, you know, if something comes up and I have to work out at a different time, I do try to eat, especially at 11, because that's a good amount of time from, you know, when you get up to that workout. I mean, if I'm getting up, say that day I have a 5 a.m. class, so I got to be there 4:30. Getting up shortly after 4. That's a long time, from 4 to 11 to only have one meal or nothing. I do fast actually, so intermittent fasting. I have been playing with that for a while, and I do kind of like that. So interestingly, I don't. Okay, I shouldn't say that. So right now I'm not fasting, but I did it for quite a long time, and I liked it. And I wouldn't eat until around lunchtime, because that's what intermittent fasting is. But I would end the fast early on those days and make sure I get some quality food in before I work out, and get some carbs in and some protein as well. So yeah, I kind of got off topic there, but that's that. Then there was a couple more here. Let's see. Okay, so it's kind of 2 or 3 questions into one. If you want to work on upper body, for example, how do you set up a workout? And then how do you know which muscles to work on, and how much time do you let your muscles rest? So, if you want to, how do you set up? So this is going to depend. There's a lot of ways to do things. So taking the upper body workout, for example, there's differences in what your goals are. Do I want to be a power lifter and get really, really strong? Do I want to be a bodybuilder and just get jacked out of my mind and huge? Do I want to train like an athlete and have explosive? I mean, obviously those are bodybuilders and powerlifters are explosive, but do I want to train for athletics, which is going to be a very different style than both bodybuilding and powerlifting? I mean, they're all lifting, they all have similar concepts and exercises, but the rep schemes, sets, rest times, all that stuff is a lot different, and load that you're using. So I'll just kind of go over all 3 there. Or I guess number 4 would be just general, overall strength, kind of like what most, I could say, the average person wants. That isn't like a meathead, they're not an athlete, they're not a power lifter, but they just want to be in shape. So I'm going to go over all 4 of those, because this is a good question, and it's windy out here. I lost my almost lost camera, but we're good now. All right, so if you are training just like you want to get bigger, right? So hypertrophy, muscle, you want muscle mass. Just that's your sole focus. You want to get bigger. If I was doing an upper body workout, I would pick I would pick more isolation. So let me start with this. So I would start with compound movements. So we'll just call out classic bench press. Okay, so we're gonna bench first. So we're gonna barbell bench, but we're gonna go probably a little bit higher reps to start out. So maybe 8 to 10. Okay, but because I also want to be in, pretty strong, I'm going for general fitness. Maybe I'll do a pyramid set of 8-6, 8-6-4-2 or something like that. So then you're hitting your hypertrophy, then you're also getting into some heavy strength work. Then from there, I would go into some accessory movements. I'm a big fan of having one main movement, so say the barbell bench press, and then accessory movements, and kind of comes with the powerlifting world. And then in the accessory movements, that's when I would stick with pretty high rep. I wouldn't really go low rep on those. So maybe I'm hitting dumbbell incline, dumbbell floor press, whatever it happens to be, flies, stuff like that. That's when I would move into the higher rep sets, so 8 to even as high as 15. So that's where I would go after that. And I really like, supersets and trisets and even quad sets, giant sets for the accessory work after the main movement for just building muscle mass. So what that means is you'd have two exercises that are paired together, and you'd go back to back, or 3 with tricep, 4 with quad set, 5 with the giant set. So I really like those, and there's minimal rest between exercises, and there's a lot of different ways you can set those up as well. So you could go opposing muscle groups. So say I'm benching, so I did my bench, then I'm going to go to incline dumbbell bench. Okay, so I hit a set of 10 on that, or 12, 15, whatever it happens to be. Then you could go push-pull, so with the opposing muscle group, so I could do a chest-supported row with 2 dumbbells, right, for 12. And that's going to allow kind of the chest, the chest muscles, all those muscles that you're using while you're benching to rest while you're working the backside, right? So antagonist. You could go that way, and that's going to allow you to go a little bit heavier when you get back to bench. So that's good. That maybe if you want to build strength a little bit more. But if you're going purely for increasing, if you're going for the pump, right, then maybe you would use 2 exercises that are the same thing. So maybe you're going with the incline bench, and then you're going to flies, dumbbell flies or cable flies or squeeze press, something that's going to hammer the chest as well. So then you can get kind of that additional workload, additional fatigue of the muscle fibers there. And that's going to kind of increase the pump. And there's a lot of stuff out there that shows that that can lead to hypertrophy gains. And I think I just moved it. This wind, man, it's killing me. All right, try that again. It's sliding on me. So that's kind of what I would do hypertrophy wise, and then from there, you get into more accessory movements, and then I always do core too, ab exercises, no matter what workout it is. So that's if you're looking for that. So strength wise gonna be very different. So strength or similar, but pretty different. Contradicting myself. So strength wise, you would do a lot heavier sets. So I'm a big fan of kind of the conjugate method. If you're not familiar, it's basically, say upper body we're talking about upper body workouts, 2 upper body main workouts a week, 1 very heavy, it's called max effort, and then 1 lighter, it's called a dynamic effort. That's going to be speed focused there and a little more volume. So the max effort day, that's what I like to follow, is basically you do a main movement for the day. So again, we'll use the barbell bench press, just regular old bench press with the pause at the bottom. You'll do that. You'll work up to a heavy single. So hopefully you're going to hit a PR, right? That's the goal. And you can also do doubles, triples, stuff like that, 2 and 3 reps. But you'll work up to a heavy set, a max effort set. That's the idea. Then from there, you usually drop down into some volume work. So you could do 3x3. 6x4, some more volume. It doesn't really matter, but you just want more volume, so you get some more work in. It's gonna be lighter weight, and just drill technique and get the hypertrophy gains as well, and the strength gains. So that's gonna be medium-ish reps. And then from there, that's when you move into the high rep, basically bodybuilding, what I just talked about, those the pump stuff, the triceps, the chest, the shoulder, the direct stuff, right? The isolation exercises. On the other day, the dynamic effort day, you're gonna do lighter weight, so 50 to 70-ish% of your 1 rep max, and you're gonna go faster. So the goal is speed, because speed also plays a factor in getting stronger. And you can do that just with normal weight. You can use bands, you can use chains if you've ever seen anybody do that. I mean, that's getting deep into it, but just generally lighter weight and really accelerating through. And on that, you'll do a lot more sets. So maybe you're doing a 9x3 or 9x2, 10x2, depending on what your lift you're using, and with less rest as well. So you may go, boom, 3, rack, chill out for about 60 seconds, boom, back on. 3, chill out for 60 seconds, back on, right? And you just hammer it out. Or one guy goes, other guy goes, one guy goes, other guy goes. So it's very fast paced. And then from there, again, you go into the accessory movements, so the isolation stuff after that. And core is really big in there as well. So that's kind of bodybuilding, powerlifting styles, either just hypertrophy, the strength. And then if you want both, I kind of touched on that. You can use pyramid sets. There's so many different options. It's tough to just say generally if you want to work on upper body, how do you set it up? Because I mean, there's so many things that go into it. This dang wind getting me every time. Try again here for the night time. Oh, we're at 25 minutes. Okay, need to hurry things up. So that's that. How do you know which muscles to work on, and how much time do you let your muscle rest? So what to work on, that's going to depend on your goals as well. So if you're, going for muscle mass, like what is, all right, I'm going to hold it. So if you're going for muscle mass, then, go, your weak points. If you want a bigger chest, then work on, things that are gonna train your chest. If you want, bigger arms, do biceps, triceps, stuff like that. So it's all depending on what your weaknesses are and what you really want to focus on. Then when it comes to, strength, that's gonna be where your weaknesses are in the lift. So say you're benching and you suck at the lockout, you can't lock anything out, then you're gonna want to hammer your triceps. But if you struggle off your chest, you're not necessarily going to want to hit your triceps hard. You want to hit, the shoulder and direct chest exercise a little bit more. So it's just all relative to what your goals are. And then as an athlete, it changes things. Maybe we'll do a podcast. I think we'll do a podcast just on athlete training. Maybe we get our boy Matt on here. If you don't know Matt, he's a trainer at Xceleration, head strength coach, and he's very, very, very good with athlete sports performance training, and that's kind of his bread and butter. So maybe we'll get him on just to talk about athletes, because I mean that it changes things so much when you're doing that. And then how much time? Yeah. So I mean the rest is the same thing. So it depends. You're gonna rest less with more of a hypertrophy muscle mass style, and you're gonna rest more if you're just strength gains, and then kind of moderate if you're just general fitness. So it's just all relative. Specifically, if you have that question, reach out to me directly with your whatever your specific goal is, and I can kind of point you in the right direction. But it's hard to say just without knowing exactly what you want to the person who asked this question. So that is that, guys, and I think that is episode 10 of the podcast. So a little bit different format. Let us know if you like this style. I like doing the Q&As. They're fun. It's different. But we're going to continue to have guests on, and we've got some cool ones that we're working on, and to hopefully get you guys some cool information and just help you guys out. But I'd be more than open to doing these Q&As either on the side or as a part of every few weeks, maybe one a month or something like that. So just let us know, guys. As always, subscribe, like below, share if you could, guys. We really appreciate it, and let us know what you think. Other than that, guys, follow me on social media, John Pat Fitness, Ben at Ben Boudreau. Again, he couldn't be here because he's at the wrestling camp, but we will both be back next week. We will both be in town and get episode number 12 at you with both of us, hopefully. We've got a couple guests, don't want to say yet, but pretty cool. So that's coming at you guys. Then we'll have Matt on as well in the future, here in the near future. So keep on chasing it. We will see you soon.